Yay! Hi, everybody! Oh my god. That is the weirdest freaking thing when it's like, I turn it on and it's like, hey, we're showing you everything but yourself. Like somehow I have become transparent. And yeah, that's a thing that happens apparently. So hi, everybody. Look, everything's working. And you're working, yes. And I think I have a Heather cam for this evening. No, I do. See, look, there's a Heather cam. So no, I am not actually a vampire or Keiko. I'm just a regular me. So welcome to the Beading Dream stream, y'all. So today's project is this one. So it's just a braided cord bracelet, and I realize that that's not the most I don't actually know, Lori. I realize that's not the most well rendered photo, but I had some issues with actually finding the photo, so that was what I was able to get my hands on in a hurry, so that's what we got. But yes. But that's interesting. I'm not actually up on my vampire lore either. Like, I don't know if cameras are the same as mirrors to them or if they are different. That's an interesting. Yay! Oh, thank the Lord. I'm so happy that it got there, Lori, because oh my gosh, that was a saga of just like, what the actual heck, USPS, are you thinking? So glad you got it. Yay, 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 yay. And y'all, we have new stuff. I actually made a video that I'll throw up on Discord in between streams, but we did just a little mini shopping. So, and I mean, by mini, I only spent like $5,000. But we did a little mini shopping, and so we've got a lot of cool new things. So Sam was amazing and organized them all into beautiful trays today, and there's nothing in there. And so I made a TikTok, y'all. I'm young and hip, or something like that. Also, I have some very large bruises from Saturday. But anyway, so we've got new stuff. So I'll post that video up on Discord, and I'll probably throw some of the new stuff in the sale tomorrow night. So very exciting. Also at 7:30 this evening, Heather and I will be playing Battle Kittens live on stream, which is, you know, it's a battling card game, but with all of the characters are cute and you know, lethal kitteny types. So Battle Kittens is going to commence around 7:30, but hi, Silver. But first I'm going to do a project. So the Rapunzel bracelet, once again, it's a very easy project. It's just a braid. It's just a regular 3-strand braid. If you want to make it chunkier, you can double up your cords, make a 6-strand braid, but it still braids the same way. So what do you need for this evening's project? You're going to need some cord. Does not really matter what type of cord you use. You can literally do this with any kind of cord. So I'm using 0.4 millimeter macrame cord, and what you need is 3 strands of cord, each of which is 3 times as long as you want the finished length of your piece to be, whether you're doing a necklace or bracelet, multi-wrap piece, whatever. So if you want it to be 36 inches long, then you need 3 strands of cord, each of which is, sorry, that phone just killed me. 3 strands of cord, each of which is 9 feet long. So you need each strand to be 3 times as long as you want your finished piece, because the braiding takes up length in your cord, and so you want to make sure that you've got enough. And it's of course always better to have too much than not enough. So I've got, and I'm just going to do an abbreviated one tonight just to kind of show you the technique, show you how to start it, how to end it. So I'm actually only going to do like a 12-inch sample tonight. So I have a total here of 9 feet of cord, which I just tied in a knot unintentionally. Go, Allison. Sorry, that was an unintentional knot. Okay, cool. Fixed. All right, I also have some beads, and I'm going to use these fun teardrop-shaped faux pearls tonight. I've got some head pins, and I'm going to use to wrap the faux pearls. So we are going to be doing some basic wire wrapping on this evening's stream. You all know how much of a fan how much a fan I am of that. I've got some beads with larger holes. I think I'm going to use these little kind of disky shaped ones, and those are actually going to go onto my cord. So if you look real quick at the photo, it's got, the project has beads both hanging on head pins and strung on the cord. So for the beads that you're stringing on the cord, you do need to make sure that they're big enough to actually go onto your cord. And then the last thing I'm going to need is some findings. And so what I've got here are 2 cord ends. So that's where we're going to start and finish. Also, it'd be really cool if my camera would focus on the thing in my hand. There we, nope, yes, no, it was there for just a second. Hi, Barb! Oh, yay! Where are you on vacay? If you don't mind sharing. If you don't want to share, that's totally fine. I just always like to live vicariously through people who actually get to take vacations. So 2 cord ends, which I'm sorry, it just refuses to focus. Probably because some of this is still in the background, it's focusing on that. But 2 cord ends, a clasp, and a couple of jump rings to put everything together. Oh, yay! That's awesome. So how's the weather in Orlando? Here in Texas, it is sweaty and disgusting. It's so freaking gross. Like, I was walking from the church where we park this morning, and I swear I felt like I was like walking through pea soup. It was just awful. Like when you feel like you're doing, you know, physical therapy exercises just to be able to breathe. Hi, Cindy. It's like, oh God, it's nasty. It's just gross. Okay, so I took my cord and I cut it into 3 pieces. Oh gosh, I would imagine being around all that water, it was probably extra humid. Yuck. Ugh. At least we've had a lot of rain here in Texas in this spring, which is good, because there's a lot of things in my garden that are coming up this spring that didn't come up last spring because we just went straight to like wham bam hot and dry. But oh my God, the humidity is just like so gross. Okay, so let's do some wire wrapped pieces first. Then we're going to string everything on, and then we're going to go ahead and do the braids. So like I said, I'm just doing a small sample for you guys tonight, like a 12-inch sample. So I don't need that many of these. So I'm just going to do maybe 5. 5 is a good number. 4, 5. Okay. So I'm going to use head pins for these because, get that off camera, because I want a nice clean finish. So I'm just going to take each of these and I'm going to put them onto head pin. And I'm using base metal head pins. You could definitely use sterling silver or gold filled if that was what you wanted to do. All right, and so if your brain works this way, working assembly line fashion is a quicker way to do things like wire wrapping, but not everyone's brain processes that way. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do one basic wire wrap from start to finish, and then I'm going to do the other 4 assembly line, which is actually the way that I typically work, just so that y'all can see that. So we're going to start with our round nose pliers, because that's what we're going to use for making our loop, and move those out of the way. Okay, so you're going to take one of your head pin pieces and you're going to place your pliers so that they are touching the top of your bead. Okay, really, camera? Alright, I might have to switch to my nasty ass, I haven't fixed it yet, backdrop, just because the camera seems to think that the texture on this board that I'm using is really, really interesting, which is fine and all, but it's really not the interesting part. But hopefully this will... Nope, are you just gonna be a pain in my butt? Okay, there we go. And of course the answer is, it's technology. Of course it's gonna be a pain in my butt. Alright, so I've got my pliers in my dominant hand. I'm gonna take my other hand and I'm going to push my wire away from me over my pliers so that I make a 90-degree angle. Okay, now you just want to focus on the... Stop it! Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot deal with this anymore, so y'all are just going to have to bear with me for a sec. I think that's pretty good. You know, there are sometimes when autofocus is your friend, and sometimes when autofocus is absolutely not your friend. Okay, so manual focus it is. Alright, so we've got our pearl, and what we've done is I've bent my wire away from me over my pliers to make a 90-degree angle. Now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to loosen them, and I'm going to rotate them independently of the wire just an 1/8 of a turn until I can grab right on that corner that I just made. Now I'm going to take my wire, pull it back up over the top towards me and down until it hits my bead in the front, and then once again I'm going to rotate my pliers. I'm going to finish my circle by pushing underneath my pliers and away from me to make our famous lady with a scarf. And then I'm going to grab my chain nose pliers and hold across that loop, and ideally I want to go ahead and put that wire on the top, and then I'm going to hold my pliers basically parallel to that wire, and then I'm just going to take it around. And if you get to the point where you can't really grip your wire hard enough to pull decently tight, because that's how you get good tight wraps, is you pull your wire. So if you can't pull your wire with your fingers, just grab a pliers and use that to pull it around. And then once you've reached your bead, you're done. That's all the wraps you need to do. So we're going to go ahead and trim and press your end in. So when you press your end in, you just want to catch it and press it down so that it just folds in with the rest of your coils and doesn't stick out. So that is one basic wire wrapped bit. So that's the whole procedure from start to finish. When I'm doing this on, when I'm actually working, what I will do is I will do this so that I can do all of the steps with one tool on all of the items before I switch to another tool. So I will take my round nose, just like we did a minute ago. I'm going to put it so it's touching the bead, and then I'll go away, rotate, back, over the top, rotate, underneath. So lady with a scarf, and then set it down and do the next one. Because believe it or not, even though it doesn't take that long to change pliers, to put down one set of pliers and pick up another, if you're doing a large volume of things, it does add up. That time it does accumulate, and so it actually, if you're doing something with a lot of wire wraps, it does make a difference. Alright, so now I've got my 4 ladies with the scarf, and then I'm going to switch to my chain nose, and I'm going to wrap, and I might need my round nose or another chain nose in my other hand to help pull that around. And then once again, I'm not going to switch tools, so I'm going to put this down and go to my next one. And once again, if you find this confusing, don't do it. Just, you know, for those of you who are a little bit more advanced, this is a way that you can make yourself a little bit more efficient when you're wire wrapping. Alright, and then I'm going to find my mouse. Come on. So not having flush cutters, Keiko, is probably the least of your problems, because you're going to end up smashing that end down anyway. So even if you don't have a flush cutter, as long as you get your cutter in so that the flat side is nice and close to the coil so that you don't have a really big piece to tuck in, then you should be able to mash it pretty easily with your chain nose, regardless of whether you've got a flush cutter or not. So I think the other two maybe have been causing you more problems. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut all of them, and then I'm going to press the ends down on all of them. So once again, it's just way more efficient if you do all of these steps with single tool on all of the pieces and then move to the next tool. So now I'm going to go ahead and press down. That's the one I did already. And pressing down is it's just all about the angle. You just want to catch that end and get it to press down, get it to curve in. Yeah, that is one of those sort of nitpicky things, Keiko, that it is worth actually taking the time and energy to pay attention to, because if you leave your end too long, it's going to be really difficult to tuck it in. Okay, so now you can choose to use a macrame board or not use a macrame board. I choose to use a macrame board because I think it makes things a lot easier, but if that's not your thing, that's totally fine. I'm going to start by putting one side of my cord ends onto my cords. So that means I'm going to take my 3 pieces of cord and one of my cord ends, I want to just keep them relatively even, which I totally failed to do just there. So I'm going to stick them all up in the cord end, and that sometimes is more difficult than you think it's going to be. This cord end's maybe a little bit bigger than I really need for this project, but it was what I had. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, so I like to kind of pull it through, because that way I know when I squish my cord end, I'm gonna be getting all of the cords in there. Some people like to just put them flush, which is great if you know that they're all in there, and that you're gonna catch them all with the center part, but I tend to be paranoid about stuff like that. So just got it all the way through. Now I'm actually going to use my round nose pliers to smash just the middle section of this crimp end. So when you're using a crimp end like this, and it's designed, well, not to do that, but we're just going to go with it. It's designed just to squish in the center section, not the entire thing. And unfortunately, since I did not use a very good quality, I'll be right back. Which, that's totally a valid method of construction, Keiko. I don't do it because, once again, oh my gosh, it's more efficient to not switch pliers, or to switch pliers as little as possible. But there are a lot of people who teach it that way, and there's really nothing at all wrong with that. So, you know, you can keep doing that, just make sure you're getting good results. As long as you're getting good results with it, then there's no reason to change. All right, I am going to go get another cord end now that I have managed to destroy my nail and my cord end all at the same time.
Good job. That's efficient.
I try to be efficient.
Good job.
Thanks. Okay, so let's try this again, except this time let's do it successfully, shall we? Let's shall. All right, so take 2 of the cord end. So I'm going to take my cords and I'm going to put them into my cord ends, and then I'm going to smash the middle, and this time it's going to work, right? Well, hi, Corvus. When are we making a Beauty and the Beast bracelet? I guess once I figure out what that would look like. So how are you, Corvus? Well, apparently at this particular moment, I'm woefully bad at this, because not working well. It just will not crimp down. Ugh. All right, so this is an opportunity for us to do a little bit of, hi Sharon, it's okay, I was late too, so we're probably going to be going for a little while longer since I'm literally just starting the project, and then Heather and I will be playing Battle Kittens on the podcast stream at 7:30. Okay, so let us, nah, it's not you, Keiko, but let's talk about some problem solving. Okay, so my problem is that I literally can't get this crimped down hard enough to hold the cords. And this is a combination of a couple of things. First of all, like I said at the beginning, this crimp end is a little too big for this particular project. I should have had a smaller one, but I didn't actually have a smaller one. And then second of all, since this is a base metal crimp end, it's not crimping as easily as like a sterling silver one would do. But I have a problem solving idea. So I'm just going to take my cord, and I'm going to tie the end into a double knot. And ideally that, haha, it worked. All right, so that knot is big enough that it won't go back down through the cord end. So what I have done is I've essentially turned my cord end into a clamshell. And now, oh, well, I was looking for that earlier, and I couldn't find it. Oh, the whole bunch was right there the whole time.
They do that sometimes.
And then I'm just going to use my lighter to melt the end of that. All right, there we go. So that is going to serve to hold our cord. And really, brain, that's what you decided to gift me with right now? So that's going to hold our cord, and then we can use that to attach our clasp when we're done. So now what I'm going to do is 2 things. Drop things on the floor. 3 things. Apparently drop things on the floor is the first thing. And I had a scrap of... I know, right? I had a scrap of cord, and I don't know what I did with it. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. No, nope, nope. Oh, that was me. Okay, so to prep this for actually braiding it, I'm going to take just a random scrap of cord and put it through the loop on my cord end. Maybe. Okay, for a simple project, this particular one is being quite a pain in the butt. There we go. All right. So I've got my scrap of cord through the hole in my crimp end, and then I'm just going to use that to hook into the top of my macrame board. And then I've got three cords here. So I'm just going to pick one to be the token cord that everything gets strung upon. And like I said, I'm not doing a long one tonight because I'm already over time because I started late. So I'm just going to string on my beads and my wire wrapped pieces. And I am going to do, well, no. Nah, not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to pick one. I'm going to go with this one. So if you're using a synthetic cord like I am, you can burn the end if you want to make it easier to string. The holes in these beads are big enough that I don't think I need to. So I'm just going to string a random pattern of beads. Or it doesn't have to be a random pattern. You can actually do a pattern of beads. So I'm going to do 3 beads and one drop. And then I'm going to knock everything over because that's apparently what I'm doing today. And then 3 more beads and 1 drop. At least I'm not knocking myself over today, so that's a plus.
Every improvement counts.
All right, so again, I've got, which, hi people, lots of people just joined us. Welcome, welcome. So I have prepared 5 of these little wire wrapped components, and I'm just right now stringing onto one of the 3 cords that I'm going to use to braid my bracelet. A simple pattern of 3 beads and then one wire wrapped piece. And once again, you can, I know, right? No, okay, I really can't promise that because Heather can attest to how clumsy I am on the regular, so I can't promise. See, I can't promise, Corvus. All I can say is I'll try. Alright, so I've got alright, so I've got one more wire wrapped piece, so that's going to be 3 more beads, the wire wrap piece, and then I do want to end with 3 beads, because whether I'm doing a bracelet or a necklace, I want the wire wrapped things to be kind of a little separated from the clasp and more in the middle of the, that's fair. The knees have been very abused lately. And by lately, I mean like this past year. But the butt definitely does have more padding, though there is a bruise there as well from Saturday. Okay, here we go. All right, just gonna move those out of the way. All right, so now I've got everything strung on, and I'm gonna take my cord and I'm just going to tie a slip knot in the end of it. You could also use a bead stopper if that was your thing, but I'm just going to tie a slip knot like so, so that these beads don't fall off while I'm braiding. And now I'm just going to start doing a 3-strand braid. Okay, so hopefully the focal distance will work for this. So this is, if you know how to... Oh my God, Corvus, that's what Lee's been saying for quite a while. Heather can tell you what happened, Allyfet.
Oh my gosh.
I rather spectacularly both fell and broke the stream at the same time.
It's true. I mean, it was efficient.
I did. I mean, yeah. I you know, why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone, really?
Do you want me to do a reenactment?
I would actually love... Okay, hold on. I'd love for you to do a reenactment. Are you going to do it on your camera?
I'm going to do it on my camera. So
Okay.
Keep doing that.
Okay. Heather is...
All right, so...
is reenacting.
I'm without makeup so far. So all I hear... I'm sitting over here. I was looking at my stuff. So I hear... Beep! And then I can't see anything underneath the monitor anymore, and I hear this big crash, and I'm looking up, and then everything is gone. So Allison fell down, and the stream fell down, and all the things fell down. But essentially, since I didn't see her fall, but I'm going to do my version, extrapolated version. It went like this. But with an arm hook that took out all of the cords there were on the way.
Yep.
So yes, that's the end.
The end. Thank you, Heather, for your dramatic reenactment of
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. Oh, y'all. Okay, so
I was like, "Are you okay?" And Allison said, "Give me a minute."
oh gosh. and then the this may be TMI, but you know, a couple days later, my boyfriend was like, "How did you get that big bruise on your ass?" I'm like, well, you know, stuff and things.
Heather? Heather did it.
No, I don't think anybody pushed me, Corvus. I think I was just a little. Oh, excuse me. I think I was just a little over enthusiastic about leaning, and yeah.
It happens to most of us.
All right, hold on. I need to grab something to drink because otherwise I'm going to start coughing, and then we're gonna bring this project home.
Ugh.
Okay, so now I can do this without actually like having a coughing fit on stream. Yeah, well, you know, hubris and all of that. Okay, so I have started my braid. So this is just a basic 3-strand braid like you would do if you were braiding your hair. So essentially, let me get that on camera. All right, so you've got 3 strands. So and I'm on my left, so my left hand strand is going to cross over my middle strand, and it's going to become my middle strand, and then my right hand is going to cross over my middle strand, and it's going to become my middle strand. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And you want to keep it nice and tight. It's going to look better if you do than if you make it loose. And so once you've gotten about an inch or so down, you're going to find your beads, which are going to be somewhere down here, possibly tangled up with everything else. And you're going to slide up a bead. Okay, so there's a bead right there. So I'm just going to slide that up, and so when it's time for me to use that strand, I'm just going to slide it up. I'm going to trap it in there, and then I'm just going to keep braiding. So you can literally just slide it up and pretend like it's not even there and just braid past it. All right, and then we can go ahead and slide up another bead. And honestly, in my opinion, the hardest part of this entire project is after you slide up the bead, like remembering where in the braid you are. And so you can space these however you want. You can do random spacing. You can do like equidistant spacing. I feel like if Lori was doing this project, she would definitely count how many crosses were between each bead so that she would have consistency. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Also, there's no way I'm going to get through all of these, so I'm just going to get through 2 sets, and then I'll show you all how to finish it. So that we can be somewhat on time with the podcast stream, which once again, we are playing Battle Kittens tonight on the podcast. I've got all my beads are on the same string, Corvus. Well, hi, Lee. How's it going? All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add that one of those wire wrap pieces that I did. So I'm just going to slide that up. And once again, and also good use of the toadette emotes. And then I'm just going to keep going. So just like I did with my beads, I'm just going to proceed like ain't nothing there. And sometimes you do have to just give it kind of a little bit of a wiggle because you want it to be hanging off of your strand. You don't want it to be completely entangled in your strand, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to just keep braiding, and I'm going to do 3 more beads, and then I'm going to show y'all how to finish. So you missed Heather doing a dramatic reenactment of me falling on my ass on Saturday.
It's true.
On the Zoom. It was very funny. And now Corvus is officially on board with the bubble wrap plan, by the way. So you're gaining supporters. So this is just a basic 3-strand braid. Like I said, it is literally for us, females who learn to braid our hair in elementary school. It is exactly the same braid. If you want to fancy it up, you can use in order of difficulty. If you want to fancy it up, or if you just want to make it chunkier, you got a couple of options. You can use a thicker cord. This is a very thin cord. This is a 0.4 millimeter cord. See, Keiko is right there with me. I was just getting to that. So if you want to make it chunkier, you can use a thicker cord for a 3-strand braid. You can also double your cords and do a 3-strand braid, but instead of having one cord doing each crossing, you just hold them together and you have 2 cords doing each crossing. So that's super easy because you've got 2 cords, but you're really keeping them together and treating them as one. Or if you know fancier knots or sennets like a 4-strand braid, 5-strand braid or any of those, you can also do that. Just bear in mind, the more cords you have, the more of a pain in the neck it is to work with. But this technique is applicable to, any kind of sinnet or knot work. All right, so I'm just gonna do my last inch of braiding there. And sometimes your bead, as you can see, it doesn't want to get trapped in there. It's kind of like Mamie when she doesn't want to come into the house. It's like I refuse to sit and stay where you tell me to because I am a wild critter. So sometimes you have to kind of work to get that bead trapped in your braid. Once you get it there, it's gonna stay, but you gotta get it. You gotta entrap the bead. Like sometimes I have to entrap the Mamie. Alrighty. All right, so you would do this, you just continue to do this for as much length as you wanted, and that would of course depend on whether you wanted to make a necklace, short necklace, a long necklace, a multi-wrap bracelet, a single wrap bracelet, and the key, by the way, if you want to make a piece that is both a necklace and a multi-wrap bracelet, is typically you want to do your length in increments of 7 because it's typically 7 inches around for a bracelet. So that means 14 inches or 21 inches or 28 inches, because if you don't, sometimes you get that awkward thing where you're trying to wrap it around and it's like 2.5 wraps, and then you're just like, well, crap, this isn't gonna work. So let's go ahead and finish this baby up so that I can take a brief break and we can get started on the battle podcast. So if we remember from a few minutes ago, I had some difficulties with this cord M, so I'm going to show you how to apply that that fix that we did onto this side as well. And I unfortunately only have soldering tweezers, but that's okay, that'll work. So what we want to do is oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this because I don't need the rest of this because I, ran out of time. So I want to leave myself a decent amount though, because I'm gonna still need to be able to manipulate it. Also, I need some cutting device. Got it. I mean, my brain works like that sometimes too. Okay, so just trim that off, and I'll set the rest of that aside, and then I'm going to take these and thread them into my cord end. And I'm going to pull it all the way down, and ideally it'll stop at my braid, which it has. That's good. This is promising. So we need to get all of my threads on the same size. I believe you, Corvus. I totally believe you. Okay, now I'm going to take my round nose and I'm going to smash the middle of this crimp. And then once again, because we were having some issues with, and once you smash that, it should not want to go back down over your braid. I mean, 30.5 is the same thing if you're talking about time, but not necessarily about anything else. And then I'm going to go ahead and tie all 3 of these in a knot. I mean, I'm not judging. You've heard me have some, complete... I mean, shoot, I'm the one who fell off my chair on Saturday, so I have no reason to throw stones. I mean, I would say that
Why throw stones when you're throwing yourself?
I mean, time is a measurement, but I don't... Oh, Lord. Time isn't real. Well, that's a whole other thing. Okay, so I made a knot. I used my tweezers to position it, and then I'm going to just go ahead and push it down. So now what I have is a stopper, just like I did on my first side, in my cord end, and then I'm going to use my lighter to just burn those ends. Corvus, I feel like you're going into like the land of word problems now. Like if, 3 cars leave Chicago at 6 p.m., one of them is traveling 80 miles an hour, one of them is traveling 40 miles an hour, one of them is traveling 20 miles an hour, who gets pulled over by a police officer first? The one who's driving too fast or the one who's driving too slow? And the police officer thinks they're stoned. Nobody laughed at that. I guess I did not miss my career in You didn't laugh at it.
I wasn't listening. Sorry, I didn't know there was a joke.
It's okay. So I'm going to melt that. What's at the other end, Keiko, is just a scrap of cord. I just needed something to hook this into my macrame board. So this is actually disposable. It's coming off of my project right now. And now I'm just going to attach the clasp. So I have my... God. That's okay, y'all. Obviously, I did not miss my calling to a career in comedy. All right, so I've got a lobster claw, 2 jump rings, and a soldered ring. So I'm just going to grab 2 pairs of chain nose pliers and use these jump rings to attach my clasp. So I'm just going to take my jump ring, grab it with my second pair of chain nose, twist it open, feed it through the end of my cord end, like so, and then drop my clasp onto there, and then close it. Make sure when you close it to the point where you can't see any light where the joint is. And then we're going to do the same on the other side with our soldered ring. I don't think it was that good, Keiko, because nobody laughed. So that joke may just have to, like, go to the place where all bad jokes go. Open that up. Drop that ring on there. I will retell it to Heather, and if Heather thinks it's funny, then I will tell it on the podcast stream. And if Heather does not think it's funny, then it is going to go to the place where all bad jokes go to die. All right, so that's my mini bracelet. It is VV small. It's like literally a necklace for a tiny, tiny doll. But hopefully that gave you a good, thank you, Corvus. Hopefully that gave you a good idea of the project. So once again, this can be as long or as short as you want. I mean, don't make it this short because, but no, it was a math-ish joke.
Which means I'll probably love it.
But yeah, so that's right. So that's our project for tonight. That's the Rapunzel bracelet, which is right now more like a doll necklace. But once again, hopefully that gave you a good idea of the technique and how to actually, do this and make a wearable piece of jewelry. You just start with, again, 3 strings of cord, whatever cord you want, whatever size you want, each of which is 3 times the finished length that you want. You can use as many or as few beads as you want. You can do as many or as few wire wrapped pieces as you want, and then you just need the 2 cord ends and a clasp for finishing. So that's it for the tutorial stream this evening. We are going to yay, okay, Lori laughed. All right, so we're gonna take a brief break and get ready to come back with our podcast stream where Heather and I will be playing Battle Kittens on stream. I'm going to need to kind of figure out how we're going to do. We're probably going to have to get cozy over here again. Maybe.
We can do that.
So, all right. So I'm going to figure out the logistics of this. So we'll be back in probably about 10-15 minutes with Battle Kittens. So thank you all so much for tuning in for the tutorial stream. And we will see you all in just a few minutes. Bye.